Welcome to another episode of Why SmackDown is Better Than Raw. This is Back to School, and we are Beyond the Shoot. So to open up SmackDown, we have Carmella. When do you see a show opening up with the women's champion? And this is why I'm excited to see SmackDown. I'm excited because it does things differently. It opens up with the champion, the women's champion. She comes out and she actually proves a point. She says Asuka was great. She was tremendous. She had an undefeated streak, but not no more. She said Asuka is no longer the Empress. You are no longer afraid of her, and she will fight her face to face. So of course, out comes Asuka. She's about to get a word in, and Mandy Rose music hits. Mandy Rose is part of the opening segment. Awesome. She comes down, Sonya Deville comes down, and they actually have some good talking points, and they both challenge Asuka to a match. Paige then comes out, which I think Paige is an awesome general manager. She knows how to speak perfectly on the mic, and she does a tremendous job, and I enjoyed it. She tells Asuka, you know what? You choose who you want to fight, and I'll grant you that match. Asuka, of course, chooses both of them. It's a handicap match. Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose versus Asuka. I'm gonna give the opening segment an A because it started off different. It started off great. I really did enjoy it, and Carmella actually played a perfect heel. I still think she should not be champion, but she slowly but surely will get there. Of course, at least the first match, which was Asuka versus Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. I do give that match a B. It was a very solid match. I was surprised to see how much offense Sonya Deville actually got. She had hard-hitting maneuvers that I haven't seen from her. Mandy Rose, I love Mandy Rose. I feel like she's gonna be a tremendous wrestler in the next couple of years. Give it time and it will happen. Of course, Asuka gets the win. She needs it. It actually showed the strength that she has to fight in a handicap match and actually win it. So you're not really backtracking anymore. She's starting to get back up. Like I said, I do give that match a B. Great way to kick off SmackDown, a great way to start the match. Awesome. Next up, we go backstage with The Miz. Of course, he's still going with his anime shtick, which I think is awesome. It fits him. He knows how to take every character and actually make it work. So they show The Miz, and of course, New Day comes out. They tell him they apologize for messing with him. He's gonna tell him who's gonna be the entrant for the Money in the Bank of the three. So of course, they played a little trick on him. They made him put his hand in pancake batter. It was a great segment. I am gonna give it an A because it was funny, it was hilarious, and I feel like the New Day should not break up and continue this and be champions once again. And of course, The Miz involved with them, they have perfect chemistry. Continue with this, I'm glad to see that. We go back to the ring and we have the Good Brothers and the Bludgeon Brothers. Of course, the Club versus the Bludgeon Brothers. We have one-on-one action of Carl Anderson versus Luke Harper. I am gonna give it a B. It wasn't a long match. It was maybe a 5-6 minute match. But Carl Anderson actually got the win. They actually won. It's been a very long time since they've actually had a clean win like this. And I feel like it's gonna show something of a potential championship win, or maybe they might not win, but they might pick up steam and actually show what they're worth. They're gonna go back to what we know them as, the Bullet Club. They're angry, they wanna fight, they're great wrestlers, and I feel like they've been underutilized, and I feel like this will elevate them to a whole nother level. Like I said, I do give it a B. It proved a point, and it showed what Luke Harper has as well. Good way to end it. Next up, we have the mixed tag team match. We have Naomi and Jey Uso versus Aiden English and Lana. I felt like it would have been awesome if they would have played a little more to the Aiden English and Lana little pairing and possibly the break of Rusev Day. I still see that kind of happening because, of course, Mr. McMahon isn't a fan of Rusev Day, so I feel like that's why they're doing that. It was a decent match. I am going to give it a C+. There was little entertaining spots here and there. Of course, Uso and Naomi doing flips and helping each other, and it was cool, little cool spots. Lana, of course, should not be a wrestler. I feel like she's just there because to promote Total Divas, in my opinion. Aiden English is very underrated. He deserves more. But I do give it a C+. It was a nice little filler match, and of course, him losing with the kick to the neck will probably affect his vocal cords in the future. But of course, that's the storyline we're waiting to see. Like I said, I do give it a C+. One thing I am gonna say, and I sincerely enjoy that SmackDown did this. And like I said in the beginning, they're changing things up. They had a contract signing. Not a typical in the ring with the table flipping over, fighting contract signing. They had a business style contract signing. They go backstage and Paige is in a suit, in a very nice table, Shinsuke in a suit on one side, AJ not in a suit on the other, but still looking professional, and they had mediators. And one of the mediators was Dean Malenko. That was pretty exciting to see that he's still involved in WWE backstage, so that's cool, but it was a great contract signing. I'm gonna give that an A+. The intensity, the rivalry that they're showing, Shinsuke showing that he's a heel, saying, this pen doesn't work, this pen doesn't work. And then AJ just slapping him. He slapped him and he poked his eye. It played perfectly. I feel like they need to do this more. I loved it. I do give this an A+. Next up, we have a match that was announced last week. We have Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch. I was excited to see this because this is a WrestleMania potential type match. I am gonna give it a C+, only because I felt like they played with the friendship a little too much rather than the match. And don't get me wrong, they did hold back. These two didn't show what they're even close to being capable of doing. And I feel like they're gonna show it at a pay-per-view, maybe Survivor Series, maybe SummerSlam, maybe WrestleMania. But they did show the little teasing of a breakup of a friendship. It was a decent match. I'm not gonna give the wrestling a C+. I'm gonna give more of what was going on during the match a C+. But of course, Becky Lynch gets the win, which was stunning to see because she was been so low on the totem pole and Charlotte's been up here that maybe this is gonna push her up to the top and possibly win Money in the Bank. Who knows? But like I said, Becky Lynch did get the win. I do give the entire storyline that's going on so far a C+. And I guess we'll have to wait till next week to see what's gonna happen with their women's summit that they're gonna have. Business meeting, as you wanna say. But like I said, again, C+. Next up, we do go backstage and Dasha's interviewing Sin Cara, saying, you've known Cien Almas for a very long time, what's going on? And he has no idea what's going on. He says, I've known him since he was 14 years old, but he feels like something's changed. Of course, that something is Zelina Vega. So she comes out and she's like, I'm not something, I'm someone. I changed his career. You were nothing but a nobody to him. You hid him behind a mask and you're nothing. And they're kind of going confrontation with each other, and Cien Almas just comes to the back, knocks him down, throws him against the wall, and says, don't ever talk to me again. You're not my friend. This is done. We have a match next week. Paige granted me it, and this is on. Sin Cara versus Cien Almas next week. I do give that backstage segment a B+, because finally Sin Cara's kind of getting a character. He's building a rivalry. He's building a storyline, and I feel like this is going to help both of them in the long run. Maybe to potentially pair up once Rey Mysterio shows up. I'm excited to see that. I'm curious to see that. I'm anxious to see that, and I hope it's a great match next week. What I didn't like is the next part. I hate the fact that Big Cass is getting all the attention at the moment because he's being too robotic. He's being too silly, I can't even put the words to explain how he's acting, but it's not entertaining. He comes out, Renee Young, once again, WWE changed it up. They did an interview on the entrance stage to the side, not even in the ring, but right when they come out. He had too long of a time to talk and everything felt scripted. Like I said, robotic. He kept repeating, Daniel Bryan's a little man, little arms, little feet, little man. It kept being repetitive, just saying it in different ways. After 2-3 minutes of it, I dozed off, I looked around, I got distracted. It was not interesting. I feel like he needs to go back, redo his character, new rivalry, something to change this because this is not gonna work. This is not helping him. He has the potential to actually build a career. He actually become a great superstar versus Daniel Bryan, and it's not working. The fans aren't invested. We're not invested. Nobody's invested except for him. Move on. I don't like this. I am gonna give it a D. It was horrible. The past 4 or 5 weeks, he's been tremendously bad. Next up, we have the famous 6-man tag match. I feel like we've been seeing this way too much. This is very lazy storytelling writing. Every single week we see a 6-man women match, 6-man tag match, 6 tag team match, Royal Rumble mix-up, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're running out of time, if they should make SmackDown 30 minutes longer to give each individual time, but they need to stop with this. Today I am going to give it a pass because I do give this match an A. It was a great match. Of course, New Day the past weeks have been having phenomenal matches. Them with The Miz Their chemistry is off the charts. Xavier Woods has been phenomenal in the past couple of weeks. Big E is finally showing that intensity. He has a silliness, but then he has that aggressionness, which I feel like he needs that to become champion. And in the future, he might just become champion. But of course, Samoa Joe got his chance. Rusev got his chance. It was a great match. Like I said, I do give it an A. We saw high flying spots. We saw maneuvers. We saw a spear from Big E off the ring. We saw Samoa Joe yank down Kofi Kingston from the air. It was a great match. It was a great way to end SmackDown. Of course, The Miz gathers him up. He's going to hit him with pancakes, gets distracted, turns around, and gets Samoa Joe and Rusev. So what do? They turn on him. Each one gets their finisher. They walk off with New Day getting the win on, of course, The Miz, because he's probably the only superstar at this moment that can take a loss and still be up here. So, of course, he's going to get the pin. New Day gets the win. Perfect way to end SmackDown. Overall, I do give SmackDown a B+. It once again shows why it's a superior brand to Raw, and it shows why I'm excited to see SmackDown every single Tuesday, and why I feel like them moving to Fox is just a tremendous move. And I will continue to give these grades if they continue to give those performances. But once again, guys, those are my grades, those are my opinions. Click on that above, give me your grades. If you want to give this a B, C, D, click right here. Once again, don't forget, comment, like, subscribe down below. Once you do that, don't forget, once again, follow me on Twitter, Mike Hiru BTS. We will see you guys tomorrow for NXT.